Well then, let's get clarity. You know what it is with River State politics, especially when it comes to general elections. So it looks so much that has not left the politics of the state, at least for the last time that we monitored in 2015. And so in APC, disruption and destruction of property belonging to the party took place. And in fact, we understand that more than one person may have been injured in that crisis. So let's get the conversation forward now. Tonight on the program, joining me from our Abuja studio is Senator Magnus Abe. He's a senator representing Southeast constituency of River State and the National Assembly. Many thanks, Senator Abe, for your time on the program. It looks so much that the bickering between yourself and former Governor Rotimi Amaechi is playing out yet again, and there were protests on the Secretariat of the party. Did any kind of Congress take place in your party in River State yesterday?
A lot of the thing you're seeing and hearing being described as bickering between myself and the Right Honorable Minister of Transportation may not be entirely accurate. The other day, I was surprised to see a headlines on the Nation newspaper saying Abe Amaechi in verbal war. There was no such thing. I've never granted any interview to the Nation, and I've never used the words ascribed to me in that headline, in that story in the Nation. What is true is that the Honorable Minister has made it known to Nigerians across the world and everywhere that he can never support my aspiration or ambition, whatever that is. But that is not the point that is in contention here. We're talking about people who want to be ward chairmen, people who want to be ward secretaries, people who want to be ward officers of the party. I do not want to be a ward chairman or a ward secretary. These are the people who bought tellers and went to the party secretariat to try to collect forms. And they had no information whatsoever as to what was happening in the party. Nobody could tell them anything, and they had no idea what was going on. The guidelines clearly said that forms must be filled 24 hours before the elections. And these people went through a lot of trouble to try to beat that deadline and get there on time to fill their forms properly and be part of the elections. Now, the leader of the party, who has responsibility to create an atmosphere that is fair, as an unbiased empire should do, that to be fair and free for all, to go and contest the election, as he's saying, he did not come to address the people. All we're hearing is that these people are thugs and they are hoodlums. But these were the same party members that when we had issues before, these were the same party members that blockaded the judiciary in River State for him. Then they were not thugs and they were not hoodlums. These were the same members that blockaded the River State House of Assembly when he was to be impeached. Then they were not thugs and they were not hoodlums. They were heroes fighting for democracy and fighting for what is right. These were the same people that were almost killed, including myself, at the Arts and Science complex. But then they were not thugs and they were not hoodlums. But today they are members of the APC. They bought their tellers. They went to the party secretariat. And they had been there all day with no proper information. And what happened? At the end of the day, the police came and opened fire on party members and created pandemonium in the process. So that is exactly how that developed. Having said that, Sheon, let me also say that there were clear agreements that made the crisis in River State totally unnecessary. First of all, there was an agreement that the leader should call all factions of the party so that we meet between Thursday and Friday to explain how the congresses will be conducted to the satisfaction of all. Secondly, there was an agreement that when the committee to conduct the congresses will come into the state, they should meet with stakeholders to be briefed on what has been agreed, so that essentially the Congress would follow the pre-arranged pattern and people can go and contest. It is not about the popularity of Senator Abe. I'm not contesting to be a ward chairman. I'm not aspiring to be a ward secretary. This election was for officers at the grassroots of the party. And all of them are members of the APC with their own rights, their own privileges, and their own expectations. So when they saw that none of these things were happening, they didn't understand what was going on, they had no forms, and they could not even see the people that came from Abuja. They were told to go to their wards without forms, without knowing whether you're a contestant or not. What kind of election or what kind of electoral process will that be? And the minister was on radio saying that in this election there were no materials, there were no result sheets. People would just stand on the line and then somebody will count them and write it on a piece of paper and then take it to where nobody knows to go and now enter who won and who didn't win. Where will that paper be?
Senator Abe, if I may quickly come in here, what you disagree with is perhaps the issue of you having some kind of disagreement with the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amaechi. But, you know, the word on the, in your party in Rivers State is that some of those who, the allegation is that some of those who attacked the secretariat of the party were some of them belong to your camp. They are your supporters. Tell us how that happened. How did some of your supporters allegedly bring down the secretariat of the party in agitation?
Sure. These are all adults over 18 years old. These are people, some of them brought out their 10,000 naira to pay to the party and got a teller, and they were to get forms which they could not get. The idea that anybody who is dissatisfied with things that are wrong in the party is somehow a supporter of Senator Abe is not entirely correct. People associate with me because they believe that I represent the desire that things be done right in the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. It does not necessarily mean that all these people you're seeing are my children or whatever. It is not correct. They are adults, they are politicians, they've been playing politics for years, and they've been supporting and working for this party. So people need to understand that. All those people were saying, to the best of my knowledge, is that they had their tellers, they should have forms, and they should understand how the congresses will be conducted, how the elections will be conducted, and the guarantees that it will be free, fair, credible, and transparent. Because without that understanding, no politician will go into an election without even understanding the basic rules of the election.
Because, Senator Abe, sorry, if I may quickly butt in. Let me quickly butt in here. Would you say that there was a Congress, or would you say that what happened was null and void in your own stance?
There was absolutely nothing like a Congress in Rivers State, because the people who would have contested in the so-called congresses, they still have their tellers. They couldn't get forms. It was about 4 o'clock when people were already posting pictures that they have finished Congress, oh, Congress was successful, that I heard an announcement on the radio from the chairman of the committee that came in from Abuja, saying that people who had tellers could go to their wards and they can contest on the basis of the tellers they are holding. How can that be? At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, on the day of the Congress, when people are already posting pictures that they have successfully finished Congress, which nobody saw. So there was no Congress whatsoever in Rivers State. Whatever results anybody is banding, they know where they got it from. But it did not emanate, and it does not reflect the will of the members of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. And Sheung, let me say clearly that as far as I'm concerned, Rivers State was the last place that would have had any kind of issues, because there was absolutely no foundation for it. There was no need for it. There was no basis for it. The entire crisis in Rivers State was deliberately orchestrated to show the power of man,
Senator,
and to prove to the world that when somebody had said something, that thing will happen and must happen exactly the way it was said.
Senator,
not,
we need to take a break now.
That played out in the state was totally uncalled for.
Sorry, we need to take a break. And up next on the program, everyone. A day after its chaotic congresses, the ruling APC battles with the hangover of a major test of its internal democracy. Is a party deep in a crisis it tried to avert?